left again. Where to this time, I wondered. It could be his normal stop to the mall to print his photos. Or maybe over to the market to try and sneak a soda and a candy bar. Whenever he pulled his disappearing act, I would eventually get a call from my mom asking for my help to figure out where my brother had ran off to. Every time these sort of things happened with my brother, the calls normally went the same way. Your brother left on a stroll. I'm not sure where. Can you give him a call to see where he is? He'll talk to you. You're his brother. Call me back when you find out. My brother, Evan, did happen to send me a snapshot of a sweet DeLorean he saw parked somewhere, so I knew he was out someplace. He always liked them, ever since I showed him Back to the Future when we were kids. Now we always make it a point to send each other a photo whenever we see one in real life. I gave him a call. When he picked up, he was happy to hear that I liked his photo. I managed to discover that he had taken a bus down to the Fun Factory arcade on the pier a few towns south from where we grew up. He told me he was on his way back home, right around the corner as a matter of fact. After some more chatting, I told him I had to get to class and I told him I missed him. I didn't get to talk to him as much ever since I moved away for school. I called my mom back and reported my brother's whereabouts to her relief. Mom, go easy on him. He just wants to be independent. Sometimes I felt like I had to remind her of that. My 26-year-old brother with autism couldn't always explain it that well to people. Growing up with my autistic brother has been the bedrock of my life. What would my life be like, my attitudes, my beliefs, my perception of other people and other families, if I had never grown up with my brother? Being Evan's older brother and a brother to a person with autism has laid the foundation for who I am and what I continue to strive for. Much like the train tracks my brother had laid out over our messy floor in our childhood home on the day I found out what autism was and that my brother had it. When we were children, Evan and I would love sprawling out our toys all over the living room floor. I engineered my latest Lego obsessions while Evan loved toy trains. Evan never really said much as a young child. He mostly liked to keep to himself and occasionally say quotes or sound effects from his favorite movies. I'm an important engine, no time to waste. Or, Luke, I am your father. One thing we loved doing together was making grand cities out of our trains and Legos. One night, after we built a great train city, my parents announced it was time for dinner. When we congregated at the dinner table, my parents had informed my sister and I that they had just returned from a meeting with a doctor, a developmental pediatrician. After a series of tests my brother had underwent earlier that month, they told us that the doctor had diagnosed him with autism. I had never heard of autism before, let alone knew exactly what they were saying. I remember thinking my parents kept saying artistic, something I was very confused about. I asked my parents how long it lasts for and what kind of medicine he needs to get rid of it, only to find out that it wasn't anything that went away. Although we were now faced with this challenging news, we continued on, as a family, helping Evan out through the years. Evan, however, ended up helping us the most. Over the years, because Evan was diagnosed early on, we were able to specially curate specific types of developmental and educational needs for him at home and at school. He was enrolled in many different types of special education programs, many times only staying at each for about a year at a time. It wasn't until he was a teenager that he was able to stay at one school for a longer period of time, our hometown's middle school, and then on to high school. I was a senior at Maricosta High School when I finally got to go to school with my brother for the first time. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't think about Evan and how lucky I am to have a brother. Moving away has been a tough but good experience overall, as it has taught me that Evan is an adult now, and he continues to learn how to be independent every day. He still sends me handwritten letters in the mail, something I've grown to look forward to every other week. It makes me feel a little bit closer to home each time I get one. Hey Patrick, if you're reading this message, I've probably written it on November 19th. Cool, isn't it? I will continue to go out on dates with Emily, shopping for whatever I need from Target, and go see movies. I will go on walks and see what new things you will see on Facebook. You go back, you and me, when we used to go to Premiere Video and DVD before it turned into a medical care place. I am glad you are living with your girlfriend. Excellent choice. I'll miss waiting for you to come home. One more thing. If you two get married and have kids, when some of them are like, get way out of control, go easy on them. Your brother, Evan.
When I arrived in my old set of clothes, I was half a world away from my home, and I was haunted by the wolves, and I was heckled by the crows. Darling, do not fear.